So, guys, I'm sitting here today. I'm talking with Paul. He's the owner of the Safari Charters here in Galveston. We're getting a little bit of local parameters and talking with some locals and captains. And Paul's got a very sad story and a very good story. And we just wanted to put it out there and have some discussions with locals, get our names out there. We are currently on the Island Girl, which is one of two charter boats that they own. And then I guess, Paul, you want to tell me how you got into the business first?
Sure.
And then,
all right. I got a call to do a long-term interim teaching job at Caldwell. So I was there for the 16-17 school year. And when I quit there, I went back to work for my son. And then I got a call from another town, Mart, Texas. And they wanted me to come in and cover the spring. They had lost their director unexpectedly. And so I went in and got there first of the year. March the 4th, everything shut down, COVID. That was March of 2020.
yeah.
But they kept me on because they were finishing a new school building and they wanted me to get everything into the band hall and set up and put where it belonged and all that. So I did that. And then they came to me and said, we'd like to offer you a contract for a full year. Sure, why not?
Right.
So I taught there for another year. I taught there 4 years in the 90s. And so they called me back and I went out and helped them. The kids did really well. And, very good attitudes for the kids there to have to go through all they went through with the COVID crap.
Yeah.
So
that seems to be tough. The kids seem to have lost a couple of years in their education cycle.
Oh,
I know my daughter kind of struggles with that time gap of education.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What should have been and would have been taught.
Right.
Isn't getting taught. They're not doing any catch up with them. So
right. Just kind of moved on and went to the next level. Right. Yeah.
But, we bought Hooti in 2019, late summer 2019. And we started just fishing her, with friends. We hadn't gotten the business completely on its feet.
Built it up yet. Yeah.
So we did a lot of fishing through the fall and the winter. We did a couple of really nice tuna trips, caught some good tuna.
But what made you decide to just kind of go buy a boat? Just like, how are you sitting around Christmas dinner and like, let's go buy a boat?
Well, my son was the first one that put the thought in my head because he had been talking to Cody Kenny, who was deckhand on this boat when my son Houston and I started fishing this boat. And then he got his captain's license and he took over most of the captain work. And so my son and I'd come down here and fish with him. And so he kept talking it up with Houston. And he finally convinced him, man, I have found a boat that is going to be absolutely perfect for what y'all want. And so we went and looked at it, talked it over, and decided to go ahead and buy that one and get it set up as a charter service. So that's what we did through the start of COVID in January 2020. We were gearing up and thankfully blessed that we were able to take people out to fish.
Right.
Now, they had to wear their mask when they got out of their car, when they walked down here, when they got on the boat. But as soon as the boat pulled out, they could pull them off. So that gives you an idea of some of the
some of the regulations, huh?
The ridiculousness of it.
Yeah.
And so, but we had a pretty good spring. Got into
so your first spring was the spring of COVID. So March hits, and then you move into like chartering like right at March or beginning a little before that, or
we really did a little bit. I think we got our LLC set up in late February maybe. And so my son was up there running his lawn care, and I'm teaching, but Cody knows the boat. He knew that boat very well, and so we were just letting him. We'd send him information on a trip, and they would show up, and he'd take them out and fish and come back. So he was kind of running things for us down here at that time. But it just kept getting more and more into snapper season of 2020. We were running our butts off,
blowing up pretty fast.
Man, we were taking so many people fishing
on both boats, and y'all had already purchased.
We had bought this one. We bought this one in August of 21, and the setup for it was Captain Paul that owned the boat had received a grant from the TERP, environmental something or other. They're wanting to get all of these diesel engines, these old ones, replaced with these new ones that we're putting in, because they have better emissions control, they have better mileage, they're just overall better.
Right.
And so he had already signed up with TERP for a grant to put 2 new engines in here. And so we just got him to fold that into the LLC for Aqua Safari Charters.
Gotcha.
And so when we bought the LLC, we bought the grant
that came with it. Now, is TERP, is it a nonprofit, or is it part of the EPA? Is a federal government?
Yeah, it's EPA. That's federal. And so what happened was we put her out of commission in January, and then in early March, we were finally able to get confirmed that they had 2 engines to ship to us. And so we're still sitting here. This is our boat now.
Just twiddling thumbs, waiting to get some revenue in.
We can't go fishing because one of the engines that was in here finally blew up.
Oh, yeah.
It was an old International Harvester, I think. But anyway, we got those out, and the new ones dropped in, and about the 3rd week of May was when we got started with Hooti for the 2020 year. Had a great snapper season. Had some folks that were interested in going on more tuna trips. So I mean, we were really busy, and in late August, Captain Paul contacted me, and and he and I'd known him since 2010, 11, and she said, "Hey, I know you just bought that boat, but my boat's fixing to be for sale. I'm finally retiring. And let me think about it." So when he told me about the grant for these engines, that's all this boat needed was new engines.
Right.
And boy, you talk about humming right along. So we got the new engines in, had a great snapper season. Every year up until this past year, this past summer, we had so much bad weather, so much high wind, so much rain, 2 hurricanes. We lost like 20
and 23.
I think 23. 3 days, of fishing on both boats.
Right.
On both boats.
Yeah, because once you're down for the whole harbor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, we got past that. We got into the fall, and we really had some pretty good trips booked.
Right.
We booked September and October, and November. All 3 had as many or more trips booked than either of the previous years since we'd been in business. So we're just steadily growing, and somebody apparently didn't like it.
Well, I know that. So I've been on this boat before. Sure. We tried, I guess, Hoot. We did 1 year, but we didn't get it fired up.
Yeah.
So I know that you do a lot of volunteer or donations for veterans.
Yeah.
So we always try to get a Veteran Day cruise or something to go with everybody, and I've always appreciated that, and I know the guys have too. That's been a big thing for me. I think that's how we met, right? Doing some veteran stuff. But then, so y'all were pretty steady across year after year after year after year.
Each year was topping the previous year.
Right.
And even this year, with so many days that neither boat was able to fish, we still actually netted a little or grossed a little more than I expected to.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was really a surprisingly
in 24.
Make you smile time up until Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you have an incident, and we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, so we were, well, I guess it was a week after, well, we did Veterans Day. We did the trip here. We brought a bunch of people on.
Yeah.
And then you had, well, I guess what, the end of 23, a political incident that kind of occurred with the captain that you described, correct? Like,
yeah. Well, wasn't so much a political incident. It was a broke the law.
Yeah.
The captain, Cody, had been given a container of ashes to take out and have an unattended burial at sea. And we do that. We film everything and get the coordinates where they were interred, and, do it up big for the people, even though they can't be here. So he had ended up with some that he didn't remember to stop and do. And they just kept hanging around. He finally sent them with his deckhand at the time. And he just put it up in his closet. And it had gotten completely forgotten about by everyone.
So the deckhand, was he supposed to go out and do it? Or he just like, here, hold on to these for me till I can figure out what to do with it, and forgot?
Well, that was what Cody told the deckhand. And so he just said it, he knew where it was. He just waited for Cody to say something to him about it, and he never did, like 2 years. And so he was having his apartment remodeled, and they got into his closet and started working, and they found this container of ashes. And the people that were doing the remodeling called the police. Police came out. They talked to the deckhand, got information from him. And so then they called me and said, this has happened. We found this. And I said, okay, so now what? They said, would you please check your both boats, to see if there are any other unfinished business ashes? And so I told them I did. I came over that afternoon. I checked here. I found one in this cabinet right here behind us. And I checked on the Hooti, my other boat, and there was a box sealed with ashes hidden in a cabinet on her, stuff piled in front of it so it couldn't be seen. So
3 in total.
3 in total. He was arrested. He was charged with, several different things they said they were going to look at charging him with. This is not the way I expected to spend March, April, and May. Well, it's not how I expect to spend time since December 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when they got on both my boats and destroyed the engines.
So your hypothesis is somebody snuck on the boat, maybe from this arrest, and then they put sand and oil and other stuff within inside the engines and destroyed them on both boats.
We've been fighting insurance ever since.
Yeah.
We're still fighting just over that boat. They haven't even started talking to us about this boat yet.
Paul, can you tell me a little bit about that there?
Well, that was taken out of the fuel line coming to the engine. We have some from each engine here. And we found that was clogging up the filter that's in line before it even gets to the engine. We found that on both. Help me out. What are those called again?
Rake
Rake cores. and Raycor filters, and it looks bad on both of them. You put it. We got one fuel tank, but it has two pickups, one for each engine, and so when it all mixed together and it got down there where those pickups come down, both engines just got flooded with stuff.
Son said he had a good idea and to get a GoFundMe together, maybe for the community.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, we'll put it on Facebook to see if any of our friends will send us $1 or $2. But, the main thing is going to be to saturate Galveston.
Mm-hmm. Get it out there.
Because there's enough people that know us after 4 years.
Right.
That, there's going to be some people that, I've had several people who, I didn't even know them. And on some of the stuff that I put on some of the other groups about this, man, there's been some really indignant people. Really
supportive and upset. Yeah. Well, I can imagine it's heartbreaking for you guys to kind of deal with something like that.
Yeah. Well, see, I had the money to do this, but it was invested in stocks and dividend stocks. And so we were, looking at making a good monthly income off of that.
Right.
But when I looked at the financials for this boat, I mean, it's like there's no end to what the possibilities are.
Right.
And so right away we came in and started showing a bottom line that was about equal to what the dividends would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just happy as a lark to see that. And so this year we just finished our 24 tax returns, and even with the 23 days that we didn't fish, I was very, very pleased to see the results.
Right.
We were down a little from last year on both boats, but we didn't crater, so you come back this year would have been
probably been great.
Our triumphant return.
Yeah.
And so
now
I'm sitting here going, well, damn.
Yeah. That's sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Well, what we could probably do is let's see if we can get some help out in Galveston. If you're watching our video here, we'll put some reels together and see if we can get it out into the public and get everybody to kind of maybe donate. If maybe you can get Hoot to get a GoFundMe set up, maybe we can plug it in for, I've got enough real estate contacts to kind of help all over the island. And talk of Galveston, and we'll put it with the video and see what we can come up with. And
sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I appreciate it very much, my friend.
I definitely want to help out. We're definitely part of the community. And so guys, if you're out there listening or end up watching, help us out with the Safari Charters, and hopefully we can get them back up and running and maybe do a community event or something, and we'll see what we can come up with.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank y'all, folks. I'll have the GoFundMe information before the end of the weekend from my son. So he kind of takes care of stuff like that. I end up doing the grunt work around here, but
you enjoy it. I've seen you out here on the water. Don't even lie how many redfish I've watched you pull up. So.
Telling stories on you now.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta include one more thing. And you'll vouch for me. When I see somebody fighting a redfish, within about 10 to 20 seconds, I can tell you how long that fish is. Didn't I?
I will have to vouch for him. We had what was it? Old Miss McDonald, the old vice president of Frost. She was here, and he goes, "It's this long," and knew it exactly on the numbers. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But anyway,
how many fish did we bring in that day? 5, 6, and I had every one.
And 2 each, I think, give or take.
And I had 1,
and you had 1.
5.
Yeah. So, and there was just 4 of us that day, I think. Yeah, that were fishing.
Yeah. So 4 customers, and then I stepped in because we were just kind of friends and family all over.
Just hanging out, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't miss by more than an inch on any of them, and I
You're pretty good at it.
and either 2 or 3 I was right on. I know 2 I was right on.
I know you're catching all the bait fish, making us look stupid. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Guys,
I appreciate this more.
Charles with the Sphaere. We'll get it out there for them. Any questions, you can always contact us. I'll put your contact out there, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks. Hey.